Welcome to the YCNU podcast. Join us each week for engaging conversations with campus leaders, students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community members. From academics to athletics, campus life, and beyond, we cover it all. Have someone you want to hear from? Let us know. Let's explore the world of Yavapai College together.
Hello, welcome to the YCNU podcast, where we talk about all things Yavapai College. And the inmates are running the asylum today. It's me, Michael Grady, all here, home alone, except I'm not alone. I have a special guest that I will introduce in a moment. And we are delighted to have her here. You know, in a world bound by communications, how you communicate becomes increasingly important in today's society. And you don't have to look far to know what is coin in the realm these days. You look at your phone, you look at your television, you look at what you do for news, for recreation and relaxation. Video is a language of record. And here at Yavapai College, the School of Film and Media Arts is training our next generation of video storytellers, and we are fortunate to have Helen Stephenson, who runs the School of Film and Media Arts, here to tell us all about their programming. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you, Michael. Glad to be here.
Great to have you. Now, it's been interesting to watch film and video go from an almost niche career outside of Hollywood to an accessory component to things like journalism and marketing and advertising, to really an essential skill when you're looking at the job market these days. Tell us a little bit about professional applications. Who uses film and video production these days, so we can kind of reorient on the sense of scope we're talking about?
It's really become democratized with the ability to just use your phone and film whatever you want, wherever you're going, your vacations, your family things. But it's more of a need for professional applications on how you do that. I mean, yes, you could use your phone, and people have made a whole entire films with their phones.
Right.
But it's just because you can doesn't mean you should.
It's a different. Just because everybody can do it, it almost mathematically means very few people do it well.
That's right. That's right. It's a visual medium. When we start the students out in many of the classes, they start with film history with silent films, because they were telling a story silently, visual only. So you learn from the very basics of the forebearers of the film industry, and then learn how that now is adapted. We have mostly Blackmagic cameras right now, and they learn how to hands-on use the different cameras, the different lenses, the different settings, different lighting. How does lighting tell the story? Mm-hmm. When I go to high schools and do a demonstration, my favorite thing is to take this huge doll that my daughter has and light her in different ways. Mm-hmm. Like you light from below. Now, what am I looking at? I'm looking at a scary movie.
Right.
You know, different tones that it's all visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm. And storytelling is kind of a universal theme when I look across your offerings, because the School of Film and Media Arts has a wide footprint now. I mean, there's video is a present force in gaming, in public relations, in marketing. Certainly, we here in marketing have gone so much more to video than even, since I started here. In news, certainly, documentary production, everywhere, everybody communicates through it. And the thing I like about the school is you talk about the common thread of being able to tell a story across these different platforms, right?
Yes. And I think that is the main thing that AI proofs your career, because AI doesn't know how to tell a story. That's one of the exercises I do for my Screenwriting 1 students is ask AI, log into ChatGPT, and you can do it for free, and ask him to write a script about, make 2 or 3 sentences up and then post it in the discussion board and let's see what it was. It's never any good because AI isn't human. It doesn't have that depth of who are these characters. Like when you're actually writing a script, the first thing you do is the characters and their backgrounds. Who are these people? Where are they from? Where's their education? Did they grow up with a single parent? Did they grow up in poverty? Were they rich? All of those things are going to help you. You refer to that list as you're writing your script because how is that person going to react? And is that true to who they are as a person? There's just no way AI can do that.
There's something reassuring about finding out the things AI can't do.
Yes.
Especially with the headlines these days, where it's like AI is going to replace everybody and we're all going to be, waiting outside the gate and we can't get in because we have no money, because we have no jobs, because AI has everything. And it really isn't that. You're never going to replace the human element, and the human element is never more present than in storytelling.
Right.
Yeah.
And cinematography also, when you look at the AI-produced content, it's very flat. There's no depth of field. There's no art to it. People that are film buffs, I know, don't see the beauty in that at all. Whereas you look at these other films with great cinematography, every single shot is this beautiful story that's being told and unfolding visually. AI can't do that either.
That's right. And lest you think we're talking about things that only belong in Hollywood, that principle of having characters and knowing characters and telling a thorough story carries into documentary production, where you're covering an event and you have to be able to align in position and frame the characters so you have a building narrative, because that's what captures me. It's important in gaming too. When if you talk to game designers, they're saying we have to have Grand Theft Auto has a story. Halo has a story. Yeah. And that's an overarching thing that aligns. It's a spine of the creature. It aligns everything else. And you have to learn how to tell that story, right?
Right. Exactly.
So can you talk? I don't never like to get too far without talking about career applications, right? So fluency in film and video, it's essentially in many kind of career fields. What kind of foundation can students expect when they enroll at the School of Film and Media Arts?
So the writing that we do is writing across the screen, really. So you do a little bit of advertising. You do your own screenplay. Most people sign up for the writing because they have a story in their head that they want to tell. But I also want to give them a touch of marketing and all the other different applications. Education is a huge application for video storytelling and for doing lessons and things. So getting a broad exposure to it. In the production certificate, most of the students walk through the door and they say, I'm going to be a director. I mean, literally 90% think they want to be a director. And then they get down to looking at what does a director actually do? It's not just sitting in a chair and bossing people around.
It's not?
It's not.
Oh, no. Okay, well,
sorry.
I'm checking something off my bucket list here.
But by doing the Production 1 class, they're exposed to all of the jobs on a set. Somebody has to be running sound. Somebody has to be behind the camera. Somebody has to be doing lighting. Script supervisors. We have a specific script supervisor certificate. And the reason for that, on a side note, is that the director of the Arizona State Film Commission, Matthew Earl Jones, told me that there's no script supervisors in Arizona. There's hardly any script supervisors in Arizona, let alone Northern Arizona. I said, okay, let's just make this mini certificate where people can get their they can get their certificate, whichever one they want, but they can also have this mini certificate of being a script supervisor. And that forced all of us instructors to be making sure that we had those components in each class.
So you're making it job ready
Exactly.
for that position.
Yes.
What was it? 2 years ago, I went to the church up here on Gurley Street where they were filming a movie. And I can't remember what got me in there, but I noticed with no small degree of satisfaction that the production assistants, everybody behind the camera, working the camera, jockeying the lights around, was FMA, was from the School of Film and Media Arts. And I had interviewed some of them. I was like, hey, how you doing? Things like that. But it was great to see those folks on the ground actually applying those skills in that trade.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
Yes. And what's kind of fun is that when a film production comes to town, they're going to call two people. One is the city film commissioner, and we now have one, which is Sam Rice, which is, I think, about 2 years now we've had her in place there. And then they call the film school because they want production assistants. So they know that a film school is going to produce some kids who have been on a set, who know not to step in front of the camera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So, yeah, they will call the film school.
Yeah, and until you're on a film set, and you get away from it, you lose this. It looks like chaos. It is a multifaceted creature, and it seems like everything's going everywhere. But that is the work of a number of assistants channeling resources here, there, and everywhere. Between the tape marks, under the lights and everything. It's very intricate, even though it looks like chaos, and it requires a lot of specialized skill, right?
Definitely, yeah. It does. It really does. My niece, who lives in Phoenix now, she's a set decorator. So she does Hallmark movies and goes all over the place and makes this look like the home that the script tells it to be. Like you have blank walls, you go in and you shoot in a house, you take pictures down and make it speak it's part of the visual storytelling. Oh yeah, sure. And it's one of those things that you don't, as a viewer, that you often don't notice until it's done really wrong. Yes. Especially like a lighting choice. It's like, why is this person glowing like that? You just don't know, and it ruins the whole thing. Yes, like the classic story of the water bottle in the Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, yeah. that sort of thing. And I had a continuity guy tell me one time, if you're doing a bar scene, don't use beer. Because that's a nightmare for continuity, because the head of the beer is really high. Yeah. And then there's, in the reaction shot, 2 seconds later, it's really low, and then it's up again. It's like the stock market. You can't do that. But, So let's talk about careers in film and media and video from the standpoint of some of the certificate programs you offer. Tell me a little bit about the Media and Extended Realities certificate. That is brand new to our division. Okay. So I literally just months, it was transferred over there. So I'm not the expert on that, but it's part of where film is going. I mean, everybody's heard of The Wizard of Oz and the Sphere in Las Vegas. It's just a huge thing. And we're getting our mini sphere called the Igloo coming to the library. In the Center for Learning Innovation, the CLI, that is opening in January, February. Yeah. Sneak peek in January, I think. So what are the things that we can learn to produce that would go into those? Because film is an experience, but it's also, some people need more than just that. They want to make it, like during the Prescott Film Festival, we have the filmmakers come, or we did a documentary about swing dance. So we had a swing dance after. So it's the added value to a film screening. So that's kind of what this extended reality is this is what people are going to do, is go to these sphere-like places and then have 360-degree experiences inside. And we're really excited about that. we have an instructor, Gulliver, who is experienced in that 3D, and we're looking at doing a project with him for that igloo to use.
Now, for those of us who are still, like me, who are still a little Amish, let's talk about that kind of the kind of thing we'd see in the igloo, that wraparound experience that you're talking about. It's a multisensory experience of video that surrounds you, and there are other elements in it. How would you describe it?
It's the igloo, as far as I know it. It's not like the Wizard of Oz where they're going to throw apples at you or whatever.
Right.
It's a smaller space. It seats 15, but the video is immersive. Back in the day, Disney had that. I remember Disneyland had the Grand Canyon experience. And
I remember that.
Yes. And that was a bunch of, you saw them filming it. It was a bunch of cameras mounted on a helicopter. So it's been done for decades, but it's not perfected like it is now, where you have to knit together the video.
Oh, so it embraces you in 3 dimensions.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
And the CLI is going to be exploring the learning properties, the teaching properties of that as well.
Yes. Yes.
See, it's such an exciting period of video because the parameters of the product are expanding and changing.
Right.
I think that's. My mind is still blown by what you can shoot from a drone these days.
Yes.
Yes. There is so much afoot. That's pretty extended reality. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the media production certificate and what kind of grounding a student would get there.
This is why I love community colleges, is it gives you that experience from the first day you walk in. Universities will tend to wait to let you do the production classes until a year or two in. Mm-hmm. And it's important to me that these kids get a chance to see the camera and the other cameras. I mean, we have, like I said, we also have a Red camera, and we have Sony cameras and Canon cameras. And getting a chance to touch each of those cameras and see how they work is really good. Let the students use those because they don't know what set they're going to end up on.
Right.
And maybe, I have a 5-year-old camera. Oh, that's okay. I've used that camera. I've used the Canon, and I know how to do that because it's the same interface, basically.
I see.
So, and what's nice about all of those is we chose the ones that use the same lenses. So the lenses are interchangeable with all 3 of the cameras.
That's great. And one of the things we're talking about, things we like about community colleges, one of the things I like about this and how I see folks at the I never see you folks. I'm sure you sit in classrooms at some point, but it's not like your first day is like, let's open the big textbook on theory of film. You guys are always out in the middle of things, and you can see the booms, the mic booms and the light standards and everything. And you get those kids out there behind the camera, holding the lights, framing scenes and things like that. So it's a tactile muscle memory, full-on experiential thing, isn't it?
Yes. How to set it up, how to break it down, how to make sure you leave a place exactly as you found it, those kind of things. Yeah, exactly.
So that's really, and I imagine this goes into the media editing and post-production certificates as well. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're aiming for a kind of both sides of the camera, all sides of production experience. So students walk away with a familiarity of every part of production, so they're not siloed.
Right, because they're gonna want to touch each aspect to see what they really want. Where is their passion for each thing? Is it, walk through the door, like I said, they want to be a director. Oh, well, this sound thing is pretty cool, and this editing thing, I really like that. I love editing because editors to me are like the king. They're the last people to touch a project.
Right.
So they're really the ultimate storytellers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're the last storyteller in the room, so to speak.
Right. And so that's a good job. I mean, now you can have AI do like the rough draft but you can't get, again, it's the emotional component. And the emotional component comes from the timing of your cuts and the timing of the music.
There are so many rhythms to things like editing.
Yes.
That you can't even, but you can't articulate it in some kind of, headspace kind of way.
Right.
And I imagine a lot of people, all those people who come through the door, like you say, saying, I want to be a director. Very frequently they will land on something adjacent or in the area, but it's something that gratifies them more. I think if we all got our, the first thing we ever wanted to be, we'd be living in I think Lily Tomlin said this once, we'd be living in a world of firemen and ballerinas. Yeah. But you can find something that satisfies you and inspires you, may not be the same job description you anticipate, right?
Right, exactly.
So you were telling me there are, I want to get to the writing for the screen certificate first, because this is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
So you're training screenwriters, video writers. Tell us a little bit about that program and how it integrates with the others.
Everybody takes the pre-production class. Mm-hmm. So whether you're in the production certificate or the screenwriting certificate, because a lot of students are writer producers, and that's what pre-production is. Mm-hmm. Is the best films have the best planning. Independent films I'm talking about is you're out there and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go shoot a film tomorrow, and it's like you need more pre-production time than you need production time.
Right.
So that's the most important component to me.
Yeah.
It's getting the planning down and where are you going to shoot and when are you going to shoot. And one of the things that always happens is the students try to do their shoot around the actors' schedules. Mm-hmm. Well, that's like herding cats.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't do that. Mm-hmm. You find your location, you get your dates in stone, and then you get your actors.
Right.
So that's all part of the pre-production process.
Yeah. It's funny because I've interviewed a few of your student filmmakers from time to time, and the thing they universally have said is, I never knew there was so much planning, but there's a dense amount of logistics that you have to get out of the way so you can be creative in this space, and you have the time and the area and the actors you want. And it's a lot of project management in that art form, right?
It definitely, yes.
And tell us a little bit about, now you have some changes coming up.
We do.
In the School of Film and Media Art.
Yes.
And that's kind of to fortify this overall educational package we're talking about. So tell us a little bit about those.
Well, one of the classes is sound design for theater and film. And we're moving that class over to the theater department for Ben Naz to teach, because he has expertise in both film and theater. Mm-hmm. So integrating that means that you'll learn how sound works in a live theater. So live music is another place where there's going to be jobs, because people aren't going to give up live music.
Absolutely not. They're
not going to give up live theater. Mm-hmm. So that kind of class, integrating it more into the theater department is going to help with that. We've added a American film history class, and if you're taking, the college has bachelor's degrees now, and we've got a bachelor's degree coming up in our division, which is arts, performing arts, and film and media arts. And film. So we have a film history class that's an FMA class that qualifies as your critical thinking class. So I don't know if Plato class exists, but I say you could do a Plato class or you could do a film class and get your critical thinking class done. And we're also adding a documentary class, and we're real excited about that, documentary and docudrama, because it's another path. Is documentary is kind of news also. It's recording and researching and fact-checking. All of those things will be a part of that documentary class.
It's interesting that the rise of documentary films in the last generation, and I think part of it, and this is not to undermine the news value of it at all, but it goes back to that storytelling card. Right? Because to be heard and seen and recognized above all the noise of all the things vying for your, you have to, you're covering an important issue. You still have to tell the story well. You have to position it so it's effective and it's compelling to an audience. And there is an art to that.
Yes.
And documentary filmmaking is one of those places where all those rivers come together, right?
Right, exactly. The whole, how they are really more popular. I think part of it is streaming, and I think part of it is Ken Burns, frankly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm in the middle of the American Revolution.
So am I.
Don't tell me how it ends.
I know. I just got out of the Battle of Monmouth, and it was really something else.
Yeah.
It's like this is fascinating. So glad I'm not there. But there have been, Ken Burns is a case because I think he set a generation of documentarians on their way.
Yes.
And not just because there have been books about the Civil War. There have been books about jazz and prohibition and the Revolutionary War around forever. But he finds a way to tell us the story through the threads of human folks, story arcs. And that's always a fascinating thing to see.
Yeah, it's the characters. Again, we're talking about when that had to be written. That documentary didn't just bloom out of his head. He had to figure out research. Who are these people that I want to talk about? Who has the most compelling stories? And then how do you knit all of that together is really fascinating to me. And I feel like I have to, I'm on episode, I finished episode 4. I've got 2 more to go. And it's like I have to watch it again just to get some of those storytelling and filmmaking components.
Right.
Obviously, we know the Ken Burns effect is famous, where he, instead of just having a straight picture, he started moving the camera around the picture.
Right.
And making it come to life. But doing that, and then the graphics and how he chooses the colors. This is red and this is blue, and these are the red coats, and it's all of it is amazing.
I thought I'm kind of a Ken Burns-ophile here. I think one of the interesting things he has done in this one, in the American Revolution, is use watercolors of historical events and battles and things, because it brings color to the story you're telling and allows a level of detail you can't cover in just narration. And I thought that's good. You got out of the sepia tone thing from the Civil War, which was effective in its time.
Yeah.
But I think he's a very crafty, in a good way, very, very crafty, very imaginative storyteller.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we see students, they're usually out and about. They're usually out and around. I've covered a couple of students doing their single video projects. A lot of the work within film and media arts is make a film. Isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, is that a basic staple of everything, even if you're going through for a more technical certificate?
Yes, because then you have something for your reel. So go there from beginning to end. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a best way to get the best the best way to understand all elements of production is to have to use them, and the best way to use them is make a film.
And it's team building. You learn to work with each other. It's those soft skills also you get from working on a set.
Yeah. You have to develop a lot of people skills, or you're not going to be working long.
Right.
I remember, and I have to ask you, Helen, if FMA is still doing these production assistant work boot camps.
We were doing those with the film office, the Arizona State Film Office, and they had to turn their attention to something else. So they did do that, and that has resolved itself. So now we're back with him wanting to do those again, and we'll see him having the ability, Matthew, the film commissioner, and we'll see if they want to keep pursuing that. He is. By his last name, you can tell he's the brother of James Earl Jones, the late James Earl Jones. And so he's got all these contacts. And, he says, hey, come make your film in Arizona. And he's like, how many production assistants do you have? So that was why he was going all over the state working with community colleges to do these 1-week production assistants.
So that allows you to, that means if someone wants to shoot in Prescott, which is easily understandable because it's an area that gives you so many looks, right? With the Wild West, and Tom Mix used to use it, for crying out loud, right? And the Western stuff, it just gives you so much. But the whole idea was to build a ready stable of people with on-set proficiency there. And that's a selling point when they're choosing between, say, Prescott or someplace in El Cajon or whatever, right?
Right. Because they don't have to fly those in. They would bring their own cinematographer and the top crew positions, but they don't need to fly in production assistants. And then you have to house them, and then you have to feed them. And it's better for us to have a base of production assistants.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And how are things with the state of film in Arizona right now? Because I remember there was a ballot initiative that passed, didn't it? That to spur film production in Arizona. How is that going? It had to be put on pause because the state was sued for doing it. And, oh, really?
Yes. And that resolved itself in the favor of the film tax credit. So we have the film tax credit.
That's it, the tax credit, right?
Yes.
So people are still setting up sets and turning on the lights, and
they're starting up again probably in January because they had to pause it because they didn't know if they would have the tax credit funding. So it's all good now, and we're starting over. We're starting again. So this is such a wonderful state for it. It really is. I mean, you look at Prescott and all of the different locations it could be. Everything but a downtown skyrise, high-rise buildings it's got. So, the ranches in Chino Valley and quaint downtown Prescott and Mount Vernon and the forest. We've just got, APS may be coming to shoot a commercial. I'm meeting the location scout this afternoon. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your other hat, where you are the founder and executive director of the Prescott Film Festival, which has been an institution here for 15 going on 16 years.
Yes.
And you were just telling me before we went on mic that you're going to start looking at films next month?
Mid-January, yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's coming around, and then mid-July is the festival itself.
Yes.
How does that integrate with film and media arts, Helen? What role do the students have in that festival, and how do you use the festival to inform their educations?
Getting the students to make their film, it is really key to this partnership between FMA and PFF, because we want to show their films at the festival. So we have a section specifically for student films, and we get them from Prescott High School. We've gotten them from the Verde Valley. we've gotten films from Phoenix, but we have most of them locally from the students. And it's wonderful for the students to see their films up on the big screen. There's nothing like, and then they go up on stage and we have a Q&A. The whole thing is if they're in a film festival. They are in a film festival. They're in the program guide with their names and the name of their films. And
that can be wonderful. A big deal to student. You know, I was a student playwright back when the world was young, and that endpoint meant a whole lot to me, where it isn't just a dry academic exercise. Oh, you finished your script, or you filmed your project. Good for you. On to the next.
Yeah.
You can see how it plays to an audience, and how you have an endpoint and a deadline and a presentation point.
Yes.
And while that adds pressure, that's got to add creative pressure. That's what it's all about ultimately, right?
Yes, exactly. They do a good job, and Prescott High School does a really good job also. They've Barry Tolley does dual enrollment for us over at Prescott High School, so he's focused on getting us.
So you have a lot of avenues into the schools and the educational infrastructure in the community here. So if there's a student filmmaker, they have an avenue. They have a next step.
That's right. We even have dual enrollment at Coconino High School up in Flagstaff for film.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and I notice in the slate of the Prescott Film Festival, there's always, back to documentaries, there's always a lot of really compelling documentaries that I think it's important to show students the best possible work and the newest possible work as a standard for them to shoot for. Is that kind of the philosophy?
Yes, and plus they get to meet filmmakers. So we give our students, our FMA students, there's summer classes for FMA. So we have cinematography and animation in the summer. So they're here, and we give them tickets to go to films. And I encourage them to go to ones where the filmmakers will be there, because that connection. That can be vital, because the independent filmmakers, they just start out small, right? And then they just grow and grow. We have these guys, at the time they were called Chad, Matt, and Rob, came to the film festival, and we showed their film that's on YouTube now. It's called The Treasure Hunt, and it's a short. And it's interactive. So you decide where you want it to go. And they invented that technology for YouTube that they've got a Wikipedia for it. Yeah. So we flew them in and treated them like kings. And it was just an amazing experience for them. And they kept growing and growing and growing. And they've done one of the Scream movies.
Oh, wow.
They did VHS, the first VHS.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of horror and mystery is kind of their thing. But they're really wonderful guys, and they will answer my emails if I send them an email still. So those kind of things, if you're a student and you can get connected with those people that are going to be the next, Chad, Matt, and Rob, then that's so important, because directors and producers tend to find people they like and keep using them.
Sure. If you can make those connections, if you have that availability, it's also really important as a student to see someone who has made it up the ladder a degree, to be able to say, I was where you are. I was like you, and I am here now. And that's tremendously inspiring. And especially when they give you a few pointers on how they got up the ladder, that can be especially valuable.
And FMA during the film festival also does the workshops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we coordinate and book the workshops through the film program.
And those workshops cover everything from acting for film, directing for film, there's screenwriting workshops, there's technical workshops. You can probably, if you have a more of a niche interest, you can probably find something there as well.
Yeah, we've done animation ones. Yeah. Just depends on who calls me during the year that I I find compelling and we haven't done before. So
that's great. And of course, with the Prescott Film Festival, great parties.
yes.
Great, known for its theme-related parties.
Yes.
And we're going to have you back in advance of that, and we're going to talk about that as well.
Yes.
Well, this is terrific, Helen. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us. And if this discussion has piqued the interest of a talented listener who wants to know more about what film and media arts offers, what would be the next step for them? Where should they call? Where should they go online? What's a good way to move the ball forward?
I'd like to speak to potential students one-on-one and just send me an email. It's helen.stephenson@yc.edu, and it's on the college website to easily find my email address. And then I wanted to just talk to you a little bit and find out what are your interests right now, where they might lie, so that we can start with a direction and then try out the direction and take a class like Screenwriting 1 that would apply to any of the two major certificates, the bigger certificates, and then go from there. Get introduced to it.
That's great. So you get a kind of personalized start, and there's a lot of different rabbit holes you could go down to, different creative rabbit holes. So start with what you like and see what you can discover.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, that's great. It's so good to hear that things are going so well at the School of Film and Media Arts, and it's always interesting to hear what kind of projects you're embarking on, and good luck with the program growth. And we'll have you back here real soon, Helen.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. And thank you all for listening to us at the YCNU podcast. And we will be back very soon with more captivating guests.
Thank you for tuning in to the YCNU podcast. We hope you enjoyed our conversation today. Don't forget to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got someone in mind for our next chat? Reach out and let us know. Until next time, keep exploring, and we'll see you next week.